Many of us grew up with the story of Peter Pan and flights to Neverland. It was only when most of us were grown up that we could learn the rest of the story, what happened beforehand in the Tony Award-winning play called Peter and the Starcatcher. To tell us about the upcoming production by the Hub Theater Company of Boston are its managing director and co-founder, Lauren Elias, and the director of the production, Sarah Gazdowicz. Thank you both for being with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
I want to start with Lauren. I guess you were the one who wanted to take this on, so why?
I remember seeing this show off Broadway. One of my dear friends actually did the fight choreography for the original Broadway production, so we all trucked down to see it, and being absolutely transported by the low frills way they presented it on Broadway, that they took everything from the development where they just had a rope and a couple of pots and pans and made it work, and it was magical. And it was magic to watch these, very, stately New Yorkers and tourists alike be transported by these brilliant actors and a piece of rope. And I said, I want to bring that to Boston, and I want to do it with a pay-what-you-can structure so that everybody can see this, because it needs to be seen it needs to be enjoyed and deserves to be enjoyed by everybody, not just people who have $100 to go to Broadway.
Sarah, this is, I guess, a family-friendly play, but at the same time, you want it to appeal to adults, because I think that the script calls for that as well. How do you make that happen?
I think the classic example that most people know is Pixar films. Pixar films are structured and designed to be good films that anyone can enjoy regardless of the age. So I think that sometimes when we talk about family entertainment, people think about children's entertainment. I think family entertainment as the definition of a story that is not just appropriate for, but can genuinely be enjoyed by people of all ages.
And Lauren, the characters here, this is not just Peter Pan before he learned to fly. There's another character, the Starcatcher. Tell us about her.
So her name is Molly Astor, and she becomes Wendy Darling's mother. And this is the girl that sort of introduces Peter Pan to star stuff and Neverland and magic, and also some grown-up things as well. She's precocious, she's spunky, and prior to Peter, she really had no friends. And what's so interesting is Peter doesn't want to grow up at all, and Molly is in such a hurry to grow up. She wants to grow up and do her job as a star catcher and protect the world, and it's just so interesting to watch them sort of like ships passing in the night.
Sarah, what's also interesting about this play, and I don't want you to give away too much here, is that we find out why Peter doesn't want to grow up. Isn't that what happens in this play?
Yeah. And I would say, I don't think it's a big giveaway to talk about why he doesn't like adults, and it's because he grows up as an orphan in really drastic and terrible, think Dickensian-style orphanage, where he is constantly lied to and mistreated by grown-ups. And so in his mind, grown-ups are the worst thing you could possibly become.
And coming to Lauren here, as far as the musical element, because when people hear something, if it's anything related to Peter Pan, you think of all these special effects and music and acrobatics. Is there going to be some of this at least in the play?
There's going to be special effects in a very theatrical way. We're going to make magic for you, but you're going to still see the zipper, so to speak, and you're still going to be transported. We have people playing doors. We have people playing ships and with just their bodies, and it's magical, even without pyrotechnics and flying wires and huge elaborate set pieces.
Sorry, you're nodding your head here. I think you did more than just follow the recipe. Give me some example of how you're making this work with the effects.
Well, I think for baseline, the show is all about transformation. And so this idea, if the essence of theater is if we tell you something is something, you're going to believe it, and we have to believe that it's that thing. And I really can't really add more to than what Lauren said. It's the collective, it's the ensemble of actors coming together to create a ship or to make someone fly or anything like that. Yeah.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with Lauren Elias and Sarah Gazdowicz from the Hub Theater Company of Boston. Lauren, also talk about the venue and what it's going to be like watching this there.
So we are going to be at First Church Boston, which is right on the corner of Berkeley and Marlborough, down by the Arlington and Copley T stations. And it's actually a very intimate setting. So you're still getting this Broadway caliber, Tony Award winning script, and you're right in there with us. I mean, we are right. It is a very intimate setting. We are almost in your laps. So that's part of the fun, to really get to be part of it.
Did you ever think you'd be doing this in a church, Sarah?
Oh, that's a good question. I wanted to do this play for a while, but in this setting, not particularly, though I've always admired the space that they have.
Lauren, and the other thing, there's a mission involved in your company, and I guess the terms for making this accessible to people. We should always talk about that.
Yes, all of our tickets are pay what you can. So we don't set our ticket prices. We let our audience members do that, because we never want art to be a barrier between our art and we never want money to be a barrier between our art and our audience. And we're also, in addition, with this show, with the holiday season right around the corner, doing a toy drive. So people can bring new or gently loved toys and books, and we are going to give them to kids in foster care all around Boston this holiday season.
Sarah, another thing going on here is that some of the people who show up, maybe they haven't seen a play before. Have you factored that in some way?
Oh, that's interesting. I think that is something that people should always potentially expect. I work with another company where the majority of our audience are people who've not seen a play before or are not traditional theater goers. We offer something very different in that group, but I think that in terms of factoring in, it's all just about creating a clearly communicated story, right? And that should involve or bring in whomever comes and sees the play if you're doing that properly.
Well, Lauren, we should let people know when this is going to be up and running.
We open Friday, November 2nd, and we run through the 17th of November. And you can find tickets on our website at www.hubtheaterboston.org.
Right. Thank you both very much for being with us, Lauren Elias and Sarah Gazdowicz.